teachers Sanda and Amalka thought that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative posts, dividing and ruling over them, and punishing them in case of disobedience. Then one day, after Prahlad's mother had personally washed the boy and dressed him nicely with sufficient ornaments, they presented him before his father. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is essential for a student who is going to be a ruler or a king to learn the four diplomatic principles. There is always rivalry between a king and his citizens. Therefore, when a citizen agitates the public against the king, the duty of the king is to calm him, to call him and try to pacify him with sweet words, saying, "You are very important in the state. Why should you disturb the people? Sorry, why should you disturb the public with some new cause for agitation? If the citizen is not pacified, the king should then offer him some lucrative post as a governor or minister, any post that draw a high salary, so that he may be agreeable. If the enemy still goes on agitating the public, the king should try to create dissension in the enemy's camp. But if he still continues, the king should employ argumentum ad baculum, severe punishment, by putting him in jail or placing him before a firing squad. The teachers appointed by Hiranyakashipu taught Prahlad Maharaj how to be a diplomat so that he could rule over the citizens very nicely. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देव प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे तथा एनं गुरुं ज्ञात्वा ज्ञात्वा ज्ञेय चतुष्टयम् दैत्र्यदं दर्शयम् आस मात्र मृष्टम् अलङ्कृतम्. After some time, the teacher Sanda and Amalka taught that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative posts, dividing and ruling over them, and punishing them in case of disobedience. Then one day after Prahlad's mother had personally washed the boy and dressed him nicely with sufficient ornaments, they presented him before his father. So we can see that how much pressure was on the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj because He is a prince, and his father is Hiranyakashipu, the king of all demons, and who was not just ruling on his planet, he was ruling all other planets, including up and down. All 14 planets were ruled by Hiranyakashipu. So he was not also ordinary king. Even the demigod, they were running away. In the Shastra, it says that even if Hiranyakashipu could raise his war eyebrow, the demigod, they were shattering, they were shivering in fear. Who is the next one going to get punishment? He was that much powerful. So, what to say about the simple teacher of Prahlad Maharaj? And already in the previous verses, we have seen that how much they were chastised, the teachers, the Sanda and Amalka, they were chastised that you are not giving the proper education to my son Prahlad. His consciousness, his mind is polluted. You better take him back to the ashram in a Gurukul and teach him nicely. And what to teach? How to make progress materially, how you can develop your taste for the sense gratification. That exactly the same teaching is going on in nowadays school, college, and universities. It is so sad that the modern education system throughout the world is so much degraded that all educational institutions they are teaching how you can make more money so you can go to the developed countries and you can earn more and more and can live your life lavishly. Like in India, there is one institute called IIT, Institute of Technology. I think in America they have also similar kind of university teachings about the information technology. And during the final year of the students, many companies throughout the world they come to the campus and they are giving the very lucrative offer to the students so they can have a very nice brain who can come in their country and work for their company to make more money. So they are giving like a package like 80,000, $100,000 in a year. And of course, the the citizen or the student from a different country, for example, if you are taking from the India, so if somebody is getting an offer of 100,000, you can make $100,000 in a year. That 100,000 will be 100,000 times 80. That 800,000 rupees is a very big amount. Even in the USA also $100,000 in a year is a very big amount. It's more than $8,000 in a month. And recent survey says that Indians are one of the highest paid worker in United States. But the saddest part, they are giving this, they're offering this dream to make $100,000, but none of the university, none of the institute is teaching any of the students throughout the world how you are going to utilize that money. They are just showing the one part of the dream. You are going to make $100,000. You will have a very luxurious life without knowing that a big amount of that income will go into taxes and maintain their livelihood. For example, if somebody is working and living in New York, I think their 48 to 52% of their income goes for their taxes. I think 30 or 33% is just the state tax or maybe the federal tax, something like that. But the total tax is about 50%. So if you are making, suppose if somebody is living and working in New York and making 100,000, so 50,000 is just gone as a tax. Then all other amenities, they are very expensive in the big cities like New York. But here, being a teacher of Prahlad Maharaj, Sanda and Amarka, they are teaching him that you should be mm, expert in diplomacy. And what are the four pillars of diplomacy? Sam, Dan, Danda, Bhed. Prabhupada is describing in the, it's explaining in the word to word translation. Sam means the process of pacifying, to pacify your opponent. Dan, the process of giving money in charity. Bhed, the principle of dividing. And Danda, the principle of punishment, which we can see also in today's scenario is very much impractical. Everyone is trying to control their opponent, or they're trying to increase their strength. How? If the opponent is against, they try to pacify him by giving some nice post, some nice position, some nice position, which draw a good salary with so many facilities. So once you are satisfied, you are under my wing, so you are not going to oppose me or you are not going to say anything against me. And then giving charity to the people. Giving charity to the people or the society is a very noble cause. But to keep the people's mouth shut, it is not a noble cause. There is a new pattern is developing throughout the world. If some chaos in a country, immediately that country is organizing an program like bringing some very famous celebrity. They will have a 2 3 days program in different cities of that country. So people will be bewildered or they will just forget for a moment what is the real crisis in my country. Or they will organize some very famous sport in that country. So people, their mind will be diverted from the real cause of the society of the country towards that sports, towards that game, towards that event. This is another way how to pacify people or divert their mind or attention. And bhed, the principle of dividing, creating difference or creating misunderstanding in their opponent. So they will be always misleading. They will be always confused what to do, what to select, which side I should take, which side I should not take. They will be always divided in their understanding, in their unity. They will be always divided, and by this division they can easily rule. And when this all three processes failed, arrest that person, accuse him, make false allegation, put him behind the jail, and prove him guilty and punish him. Prabhupada even mentioning that put him in front of the firing squad. That was actually happened when India was ruled by the Britishers. If anyone is trying to protest against the British monarchy or British rule, they were given some high position in the government job. If they fail to develop that area, they do whatever is needed to be done. So this opposition leader will be failed because suppose there is not enough medicine, there is not enough food, if there is not enough clothing in that area, do these all things. So the opposition leaders all claim will be proven as a false claim because government is doing those all facilities. They are establishing clinics, they are establishing hospitals, they are supplying food, they are supplying all other necessities which is required to maintain a society. So the all opposition's claim will be proven wrong. No, government is supporting. And then by doing this, they are dividing the people's unity. Somebody will say that government is not supporting or this particular party is not supporting. Then somebody will say, no, the supply is there. Everything is there. Why you are accusing the government or the particular government officer? And in spite of that, if still the government is not successful to suppress this agitation, they will catch that leader, accuse him, and put him so many allegations on him and put behind the bars. And of course, if there is no if there is no enough supporting judicial system, his life is gone behind the bars. In most cases, in those days in India, they were hanged till death. That is the government policy. How to that is a diplomacy actually. I don't know. Maybe the Britishers they have also read this Vedic Shastra, Samadhana Danda Bhed. Maybe they have learned very nicely. But it is absolutely demoniac way how to rule the planet, how to rule the people and the in society to control the citizens according to your own way. And as Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, there is always rivalry between the king and the citizens. Because when the king is trying to enjoy the position being a king, rivalry will be always there. It was not there during the time of Maharaj Yudhishthir or Lord Ramchandra, though they were king, but they were known as a Raja Rishi. Raja means king, Rishi, saintly person. Though they were ruling like a king, but their lifestyle, their method of applying the rules on the people was like a saintly person. They were they were treating people or the citizen as their own family member, as their own child. So no matter how you are cruel, still you can't chastise or you can't punish your child unless the father is like Hiranyakashipu. So, but now the the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj, they were convinced that our student is ready, he is presentable in front of the father to show that he is getting enough and proper education in the Gurukul. Because they have to also maintain their post and they are more important their life. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to know that how much progress his child has made in his educational period in a Gurukul. Especially his mother, Prahlad Maharaj's mother, Kayadu. She dressed Prahlad nicely with ornaments and everything before presenting her child in front of her husband. It is also very important that to pacify the parents, the children should be always nicely clean, well dressed, not just in front of the parent. Everyone, when they are coming for the darshan of their lordship or their guru, they should also nicely dressed because they are going to meet their lordship or the representative of their lordship in the form of their spiritual master. It is very important. Prabhupada has always expressed his desire that a devotee should be nice, nicely dressed and clean. I remember one time I was listening a lecture from His Holiness Bhakti Prem Swami, who is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Chandra Swami, and he was describing that how nicely Bhakti Chandra Swami was dealing with his disciples. So Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj, he came to see him, and Bhakti Chandra Swami he asked him, and sometimes of even we don't understand that my body odor is not pleasant to the others because I'm used to my body odor, so I don't really realize that how I'm smelling. So Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj, he came to see his spiritual master, Bhakti Chandra Swami. So he asked him, he didn't say that you are smelling bad. He asked that which soap do you use for your bathing? So he told him that I'm using this soap. He said, no, no, you should better change your soap because that soap doesn't smell nice. So indirectly he is saying that you are not smelling good. So instead of saying that, he doesn't wanted to disappoint him or wanted to make him feel bad. He said that your soap is not good, so you better change your soap. So an intelligent person will immediately understand that my body odor is not present, is not pleasant. That's why cleanliness is very important. So his mother, Prahlad Maharaj's mother, also dressed Prahlad Maharaj very nicely, and she gave personally bath to him to make sure that he smells good. And then she dressed him nicely. Maybe by looking at him when the father will bring his son to make him to sit on his lap, to make sure that he smells nice and he looks nice also. That's a very important part. That's why a devotee should also, whenever he is coming for darshan, whenever he is visiting to other devotees or coming to the temple, should dress nicely and he is presentable. I remember long ago when I was visiting Mayapur, I was always very surprised to see one particular Mataji. I'm not doing body shaming, but she was, I think, maybe in the late 60s or something like that, with a heavy body. But she dressed so beautifully, like today is her wedding day. And every time, whenever she was coming for Darshanarti, she come with a very nicely dressed, with the jewelries, with the flowers, everything. And I was thinking, why this Mataji always comes for the Darshanarti like today is her wedding day. Later on, I realized it is not to please others. It was to please Krishna. Like my Lord, I dress so beautiful. I have nice sari on me. I have beautiful jewelry on me. I have a flowers on my hair. I smell very nice. So I came to see you. I came to meet you. So she was dressing herself to present herself in front of Krishna, in front of Srila Prabhupada, in front of other devotees. And who knows, by looking at her, by her presence, many other devotees will get inspiration. Oh, I should also dress like, I should also present myself nicely. So I would like to stop on Srimad Bhagavatam here, as today is Divine Great Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj's Disappearance Day. So I would like to say something about that great personality by whose mercy, by whose mercy and blessings, the Vaishnava society is growing by leap and bound. So, Hiranyakashipu, another demon. But this demon was not in a particular form, a particular age, especially in the age of Kali. Even during the time of His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, many Mayavadis, many other Brahmanas from different sections, they were opposing him the way he was preaching. So the Hiranyakashipu, the word means Hiranyakashipu, it has two words, Hiranya and Kashipu. Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft cushion or bedding for sense gratification. So these so-called Brahmanas from the society, they are not less than Hiranyakashipu because they wanted to enjoy the senses and they wanted to enjoy the luxury. So they are not less than Hiranyakashipu. So any of the Brahman in a society, if they have this mentality, we should consider them that they are Hiranyakashipu. Unless they are using this luxury or these all opulences to preach and spread Krishna consciousness. Like our divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, he was traveling and he was traveling a lot. Even my Guru Maharaj, when he was physically absolutely fit, he was traveling a lot. Still he is traveling and preaching. People sometimes they say that the sadhus, the sannyasis, they live in a luxury. But that luxury is to attract other people to come to Krishna consciousness. That is the whole reason. A devotee should also be presentable always because we never know when we will get some guest in our temple and we have to sit and we have to preach them. So if I'm not presentable, maybe that visitor, that guest will go away by looking at our appearance. Because they are not on a spiritual platform to realize my spiritual elevated post. He is a normal human being. He will judge the book by the cover unless he will come closely in a contact with a saintly person. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who is the spiritual master of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he was born in a Sri Kshetra Dham, which is known as a Puri, on 6th of February 1874, as the son of Srila Satchidanand Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And his birth is not an ordinary because Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Puri by that time, and his house was between the Jagannath temple and the Gundicha temple. So on that particular year when he was born, the chariot of Lord Jagannath, when it was going from Jagannath temple to Gundicha, stopped near the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And no matter how much they were trying to pull the chariot forward, but it was not moving at all. It was stay there for 3 days. Then Bhaktisiddhanta's mother, she brought the child for the darshan of Lord Jagannath. And when they brought the child in front of the deity of Lord Jagannath, a garland fell down from the Lord's and fell on this small child. So immediately everybody understood this is not an ordinary child. And there are so many beautiful pastimes which are related with the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, which is compiled in a book named as a Ray of Vishnu. But I would like to share a few of them according to my capacity. It's just like they say in Hindi, like showing lamp, showing lamp to sun, who is the source of light and energy. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was so visionary in his time that he tried to unite all other four sampradaya, he was trying to bring them under one umbrella to preach Krishna consciousness because in different part of India, there are different sampradaya, they are very much prominent. Like if you see the southern part of India, they are mainly follow Sri Sampradaya. So Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, they are mainly flourishing to preach Krishna consciousness. But other two Sampradaya, they are not so prominent in terms of their preaching Krishna consciousness. But he was trying to bring all these four Sampradaya under one umbrella. So everyone will do their responsible job to preach Krishna consciousness. And he was just when 6 months old, his father, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, did his Annaprasan, first grain ceremony. And that grain ceremony came from Mother Vimala's temple. That's how he gave the name Vimala Prasad. Prasad means mercy also. Prasad means the remnant from their lordship. And as of all of you are maybe aware the pastimes of how Vimala Devi appeared in this material world, who is not different than Goddess Durga, the consort of Lord Shiva. So that's why it is known as Mahaprasad. After offering to Jagannath, this prasad goes to the Vimla Devi's temple first, and after that, which is coming for the distribution, known as Mahaprasad. So prasadam offered, the bhoga offered to Lord Jagannath, known as prasad after offering. But when it goes to Mother Vimala, and after that, it becomes Mahaprasad. So which is more higher in term of mercy, because that comes from a Vaishnava, a Vaishnavi. So that's how his name was Vimala Prasad in his childhood. And when he was just 5 years old, accidentally he ate one ripened mango. And immediately he realized that I didn't offer this mango to Krishna. And I wanted to enjoy it before offering to Krishna. Can we imagine at the age of 5, we really don't care what we are doing. I want this, I want this, I want this. But he was so much focused that I ate this mango before offering to Krishna. So I should punish myself. So he took a vow that throughout my life I will never eat ripened mango. But he was gladly accepting raw mango chutney. That was his commitment. And there was another commitment when he was about, so when he took sannyas, after that he took vow that I will never touch money by my own hand. For that, he gave these responsibilities to his disciples to take care of the finance. I will not touch money because holding money is a kind of sense gratification and maya. Yes, this money under control me, so I can utilize it the way I want. So he took second vow that I will never touch money. And Mayavadis, they were so much afraid of him that it says that they don't go through the lane where Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj was living. and they called him as a lion. He is a lion. They don't fear of anything. And even they were respected him so much that when he passed away, when he left, I would not say passed away, when he concluded his Leela on this material world, one of the Mayavadi, one of the opponent was lamenting, now with whom we are going to make argument. So it's like a hate and love or respect was going hand to hand. He was so much respectful, even in his opponent's camp, that they were lamenting, now with whom we are going to make argument. And he opened 64 temples, Gaudiya Math, and centers in Burma, England, and Germany to spread Krishna consciousness. And one of his greatest contribution to the human society for the development of Krishna consciousness excavate the Lord Chaitanya's birthplace and established a temple which is known as the Yoga Beat in Mayapur, which is epicenter of bhakti today's scenario. Without the mercy of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, it was not possible to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So what seed was sowed by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is nourished by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And now we can see the branch of that seed is spreading throughout the world and it is getting strong and bigger day by day. He also established printing press to spread Krishna consciousness through the magazines known as the Brihad Mridanga in Madras, means today's Chennai, Calcutta or Kolkata, and Krishnanagar also. And his objective was to print magazines and to distribute among the people to educate about the Krishna consciousness. And when the critics they were writing, when they were asking why you have to print magazines and you do the distribution, he said, you guys are printing newspaper and distributing every day the trash to the people. So I'm just trying to clean this trash from the society. And if I'm not wrong, Prabhupada had mentioned also one time he was in some of the Western country and he was using the public toilet. So after using the public toilet, when he came out and he was smiling and sharing his view to his disciple and said that I find newspaper inside. That is the perfect place for reading newspaper, public toilet. So as long as one is using the public toilet, that much time is enough to look in a newspaper if you are interested into that. Or Prabhupada has another vision that newspaper, which is not talking about Krishna consciousness, not a better paper than the toilet paper. So for toilet paper and newspaper, they are the same. So that's how Krishna Saraswati what Thakur was trying to spread Krishna consciousness through the magazines. And one of his favorite book was Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he predicted by reading this Chaitanya Charitamrita, the foreigners they will fall into love of Bengali language and they will learn Bengali language to understand the Chaitanya Charitamrita with more essence. Because it is always nice to know the language to get the real meaning of that particular shastra. And he was always advocating the teachings of the six Goswamis, especially Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. And Unless if unless we are not serving the Vaishnava, no one can make development. So he was so much in that mood that if I'm serving, if I'm spreading the teachings by the Goswamis, more and more people will be get benefit. It says, Kariya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Chikeva. Without serving the Vaishnava, nobody is eligible to get mercy to make advancement in this material life. Though his father, His Holiness Bhakti Vinod Thakur, is a prominent leader, he was initiating Guru, but still he instructed his son to take initiation from his disciple, from Golkeshwar Das Babaji Maharaj. Upon approaching Golkeshwar Das Babaji Maharaj declined to give him initiation. And he said that so when he requested, please give me your mercy, please bless me. Golkeshwar Babaji Maharaj replied, mercy is not mine to give. I am not eligible to give you mercy. It is the property of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I will ask him. And when he will agree, then I'll give you my blessings. The second time, when he met him, again he asked, please, Golkeshwar Babaji Maharaj, please accept me. Please be merciful on him, on me. And he asked him, did you ask? Like he is asking to spiritual master, did you ask Lord Chaitanya that I'm eligible to get mercy? He says, no. I forgot to ask him. Then he asked him again third time, did you ask? When he got reply as when he got negative reply, he said, you worship that great cheater, Krishna, who is cheating everyone, and so you are also cheating me. But if you continue in this way, I will simply give up my life because my life is useless without receiving your mercy. So we can take this lesson that without the mercy of a spiritual master, no one can make progress. No one can make advancement in Krishna consciousness. Then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj gave him initiation and gave him a name, Vrishabhanu, Vrishabhanu Devi Das. And after initiation, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was doing 194 rounds for 7 years. 194 rounds. And we find so difficult to finish 16 rounds in a day. But he did 194 rounds for 7 years. And he was such in a renounced life, the way he lived, that in his kutir, in his hut, during the rainy season, if the water drops, he don't fix it. He was using one umbrella to protect himself from the rainwater. Finally, in 1918, he opened a Gaudiya Math after his sannyas in Ultadang in Kolkata. And at the age of 62, in 1936, he concluded his Nitya Leela on this planet and went back to Krishna Loka. And there are more details we can find in the book, which is compiled from so many uh, his pastimes known as a Ray of Vishnu. And it is so amazing that His Holiness, His Divine Grace, Bhakti, our Srila Prabhupada, he just met him twice and he got two instructions. first instructions when he met, when he was studying in a college, and upon seeing him, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati ordered him, "You are educated young man. You should go in the West and preach about Krishna consciousness." That was his first instruction. And second instruction was, whenever you have a money, print book and distribute. And they have always communication through letters. There was no physical meeting between Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Srila Prabhupada. But these two instructions were so powerful, like a full blessings came on Srila Prabhupada to go and preach in the West, and when you have money, just print book and distribute. And did exactly. Srila Prabhupada came to West in his third part of his life, and he was he was very much focusing to print and distribute books. Still, we are doing that. We are trying to follow the instructions which come from Srila Prabhupada to print books and distribute Prashadam. The book distribution, Harinam, and Prashad, these are the main three strong pillars. And of course, our own personal sadhana. They are the main component to make this movement to go further, which is started by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by starting uh, Harinam movement. Because Harinam and Hari Prasad, the Prasadam of Lord Krishna, are the very, very two strong weapon which can convince a fallen soul to walk towards Krishna. I would like to conclude here. It is 2 minutes to 8. Soon we will have a darshan of Sri Sri Radha Damodar Lalita Vishaka and Nitai Gaura Sundar. And once again, I would like to congratulate all of you for the auspicious occasion of Disciplinary Day of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Whatever we can collect from the mercy from the Vaishnavas, the Acharyas, this mercy is helping us to make progress in our devotional life. Thank you very much. Can Prabhu Jai. It's just almost 8 o'clock. Oh, Mata. Oh, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha 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 Damodara Radha Radha Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Radha Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Radha Jaya Lalita Vishaka Lalita Vishaka Sri Radhe 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 Jaya Lalita Vishaka Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya, 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, 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 Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Last time, Kevala Bhakti Sharma. Kevala Kevala Bhakti. Chitete ko iya agya. Chitete ko iya agya. Ana puri hamani. Yajna, yes, prophet. Prabhu, Dora Joya, Yehomore, Jai. Das Tribhuvana. Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
Puja, Krishna Krishna, Puja, Srimad Deva, Viveka, Gita, Gita, Namaste, Saraswati, Purava, Shakti, Nirvitesha, Nira, Adyaja, Vichitta, Namaste, Saraswati, Sadhu Nityanam Vrinda Viraha Vivata Gora Chaturnas Jayatri Krishna Siddham Prabhupada Sundara Vivata Viraha Vivata Vivata Jayatri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadham Yuvata Yora Bhakta Jayatri Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare There's nothing about Jesus.
The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotion and service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe. By his grace, I can cross the ocean into itself and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by words emanating from his lotus. I pass into his lotus feet, the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendence. He is my Lord, earth open. From him, sky and man. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual masters, the ocean of earth, the friend of the poor, Lord and Master. O Master, merciful one, you give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. I take shelter of yours.
Yeah. No.